Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of Houses of Allah, a podcast series hosted on Inspire FM. My name is Afsa and I'm joined by my Ustad Abdul Ghafoor, that's my co-host. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
For those of you who don't know, Houses of Allah is a fresh new project where we are bringing in leaders across Luton masjids to have a discussion with them about their journey and the work that they do. Our objective is to highlight and showcase the brilliant work that the masjids are doing for the community. Today, I'm joined by two special guests from Masjid Al Huda. I have here with me Sheikh Abdul Hakeem and brother Naveed Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome to the show.
Jazakallah khair, barakallah fiik.
So let's start with a few introductions to yourself and your role at the Masjid Al Huda. So let's start with you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. My name is Abdul Hakeem, Imam of Masjid Al Huda for over roughly 14 years now, since the masjid was incepted in 2009. So alhamdulillah, and I think brother Abdul Ghafoor is the one who has helped us a lot. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless him, inshallah. So we are there in Saxon Road and we are operating there, inshallah.
Oh, mashallah. We'll dive deeper into your introduction, inshallah. And yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Firstly, Jazakallah khair for having me and the Sheikh on the show. My story is a little bit different. So I'm just a member of the community. One day wandered into the masjid through a side door when I was about 16, and I never looked back really, alhamdulillah. And it's changed my life. It's a big part of kind of who I am, and we're trying to do a lot of good things. So may Allah put barakah.
You've been at the masjid since you were 16?
Yeah, I think on and off since between the age of 16 and 20, but I really started taking it a bit more serious about 2021, 29 now, so just under about a decade or so, alhamdulillah.
And for those who don't know, where is the masjid located?
The masjid is located in Saxon Road, but the address is Legal Road.
Okay, so the corner.
Corner, opposite the venue center.
Venue center,
That's where it's located, yeah.
So a bit of a peculiar location. It's like on the corner of where Saxon Road and Legal Road meet.
So that's actually a very Mubarak location. You're probably aware there was a madrasa that used to run.
Yes,
Al-Arqam used to run there.
Absolutely.
For alhamdulillah many years, mashallah. And then once he vacated and went to another premises, mashallah, the barakah has continued.
Alhamdulillah.
The masjid has expanded, alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It'd be interesting to start with, Sheikh, your journey to how you got to where you are. So, a bit about your childhood.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Abdul Hakeem, Sheikh Mahmoud. I was born in Kenya, border of Kenya and Somalia. And my childhood was that I was raised by my father, who was also a scholar. He was a scholar in the community himself. And it's a long time. Alhamdulillah, when we are young, we started going to the madrasa, Islamic madrasa, which normally is you start with Quran when you are 5, maybe even 4 or 5 years. First thing that you start with Quran, specifically only for Quran. And then after that, I joined secular school. At the same time, Islamic school, both. Or sometimes we have been running in madrasa, Islamic school plus the Quranic, all of them together. Plus also some more subjects in home with my father also. So this was parallel. So I finished my primary, and then at the same time I finished my primary Islamic, which is Ibtidaiya, they call it. And then I went to secondary, and then I finished, and then I went to secondary also Islamic. Both parallel together. So we're going this in the morning, we're going that in the evening. And then I proceeded to high school. At Thanawiya, I stopped the one which is the secular. I continue my Islamic education.
Okay, just purely Islamic?
Pure Islamic education. That was high school for 3 years. And then I finished and applied for university, some of the university, like International Islamic University in Pakistan and some in Egypt. But unfortunately, I didn't. I wasn't, enough to get it. So, but I still continued to seeking more knowledge, alhamdulillah. And after that, I moved into Europe, to UK, in the early 90s. And then after that, I moved into Luton, I think late 90s. So, and I came into Dawah, I think, the end of 90s, 98, 99, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I was already into Dawah, but where I started Dawah was in Milton Keynes. I was more connected to Milton Keynes, where I started doing my khutbah and giving some, that was 2001, 2002.
Okay. Is that Masjid?
Masjid Al Huda now.
Masjid Al Huda.
The office building, right?
Yeah,
central Milton Keynes.
Yeah, but because before that, even Masjid Al Huda, they were the place where we hired and we used to pray only Jum'ah there.
Oh.
So that was a long time. Alhamdulillah. And then, 2000s. I became the Imam of Masjid Al Huda for 10 years.
Oh.
Yeah, from 2011 to 2021.
Oh.
Before the Corona, yeah.
MashaAllah. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, we had beautiful, life there, and we had all of us were students. We were learning together and helping each other. And now I'm in this masjid now for the last 3 years now. This masjid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this masjid that you refer to, Masjid Al Huda, alhamdulillah, is typically is associated with the Somali community. So what's your connection, mashallah, having Kenyan origin? Are there further roots in Somalia?
There's a lot of Somalis living in Kenya. They're Kenyans, but they're Somali. Because the border of Kenya and Somali, they're borders. So by the time the British were ruling Kenya, when they left, they put a chunk of Somalia into Kenya. So the Somalis who are there, they are Kenyans, but by
DNA,
they're Somalis.
Right.
So that's why there's a lot of Somalis in there. A lot of them living there, but they're Kenyans, and there's also Somali. The others who are living in Ethiopia also.
Ethiopia as well. Then.
There's Djibouti. There's other parts. Yeah. So that's the way. But the masjid, alhamdulillah, we call it Somali masjid, but ourselves we don't call it Somali masjid. We call it Muslim masjid.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. The reason why I'm saying that is majority of people who are praying there are non-Somali really. Our Asian brothers, Bengalis and Pakistanis, are roughly would say 95% who are praying there. And alhamdulillah, yeah. So. And as we know that masjid is for everyone anyway, so it's not for Somali masjid. But although we are the ones who are running the masjid in the hands of the Somalis, but alhamdulillah, so everybody is welcome there.
Okay, and mashallah, I've visited Al Rawda Masjid. I used to work in Milton Keynes.
Mashallah.
And I remember, because there's like a really nice community feeling there.
Yes.
I think the downstairs is like, it's not even a prayer place.
Yeah, no,
it's just
that's
like,
where they pray, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
It's like a games room as well there for the youth and stuff. So they're doing really good things.
So is the Somali community bigger there? I'm guessing, right? In Milton Keynes.
Yes, bigger than bigger. So at the same time, again, if you go to the masjid, the Somalis are maybe 20% again. Yeah, there's a lot of other communities living in there. The Swahili communities also living there. Swahili from Kenya and Tanzania. Huge part of Somalia, Swahili communities. The Asians. And there are Africans also, other Africans. Like, there's a lot of people. But if you go there, you will never say that the masjid belongs to Somalia. Yeah, mixed race. So, alhamdulillah.
That's really good. And I think the something that our listeners would be really interested in is like how did Masjid Al Huda get founded? Like the
Masjid Al Huda was founded, I think, it was at the end of 2009. I think it's roughly 14, 15 years now.
Okay.
Thing is, as a community, normally when you're a community and when you're new somewhere, you look for someplace, can save yourself, teach your kids, because the thing is, we have got our sisters. Some of the sisters, when we came here, they wouldn't speak English because when they came here, they were already old. So, like these sisters, they needed we to teach them in Somali. So that's the way we have started. Alhamdulillah, as the brother said, there was a madrasa there before we moved in, small madrasa, but later on we extended the masjid. So alhamdulillah, it's going from good, at the moment is very good really. Yeah.
So given the expansion, I'm guessing it started off with a certain number of worshippers, and then slowly growing.
Yeah. There was a shop there. The shop moved, and then immediately we said we want to extend the masjid. Yeah. At the moment, even we need more extension. Really, we're looking for a bigger place. Really, so I don't know if someone who's listening, hearing us, can help us.
Honestly, it's just
because the thing is, the community has grown now, and especially if you come there on Salatul Jum'ah, we are praying outside.
Okay.
Yeah, praying outside really. Yeah. So, and also even the normal Salah. Sometimes Isha, Maghrib is full packed, So we're thinking in future, inshallah, maybe to move out somewhere else. Inshallah, to get a bigger place.
I see. And yourself, you're a volunteer at Masjid, right? So how did you get involved in volunteering?
Yeah. Again, so I was grew up in the UK. It's pretty similar background to yourself. secular studies, Islamic studies kind of was second priority, you know, like maybe school days after coming back from school. I didn't really, I think it's quite important to know, I didn't really feel a connection with Islam when I was at that age, you know what I mean? It was more like it was a chore, like an obligation, you know. Like I knew I was a Muslim, alhamdulillah, but it wasn't the forefront of my personality. It was more like just an add-on, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is what we are, alhamdulillah. But when I as I got older and started meeting people from different areas and really questioning like I don't want to say it in a way where it's like not questioning Islam, but questioning kind of the reason as to why am I Muslim, you know, like, do I know enough about Islam? Like, and was really pressuring myself in the sense of like, okay, I'm a representative and an ambassador of this faith, but what do I really know about this faith? Like, am I investing time in it? And then, because I went off on a bit of a tangent, but the point I'm trying to make is, so my journey started when I was about 15, 16. I used to go to Islamic Center quite a lot, purely because of the fact that I had a bookshop. I'm not sure if you remember, they had a bookshop within in the masjid. So that's how my journey started. I used to just go there, buy some halal sweets, read a couple of books, and then crack on. Do you know what I mean? And then I only came across Masjid Al Huda once I was running late for Jummah, and my father was like, "Oh, there's a small masjid at the corner of Saxon Road." I live just off of Saxon Road. Okay. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've never seen a masjid there in my life. Do you know what I mean? Running down the street, and it was the summertime. I specifically remember the side doors were open, and there was just masses of shoes outside. And I thought, okay, this must be the masjid, right? I wandered in there, and funny enough, Sheikh, you were giving the khutbah. And I remember you were talking about brotherhood. I think that was I still remember it to this day, alhamdulillah. And just never looked back. So I've just been going there ever since.
Been attending and volunteering.
Yeah, I've been attending. Just started off as an abid. I still consider myself just a worshipper, nothing more than that, to be honest, alhamdulillah. But the masjid is quite a youth-led masjid. And a lot of the jama'ah, other than the uncles, which are in every masjid, it's quite youth-led. We've got a lot of youth. And alhamdulillah, I'm a part of that as well. So may Allah put barakah in it.
And what is it you do professionally?
I work in IT, so I work in business development, I work in tech. But I do a mixed bag, kind of focus on tenders and frameworks and stuff like that. That's my professional life. But to be honest, that I would like that to fund this, inshallah. That's kind of the goal. And outside of that, study with Sheikh. We study pretty much every other day. Masjid Al Huda, alhamdulillah.
I think it's great to hear your journey, because I think you're someone that's benefited from the masjid, from the Sheikh. So, and you're saying, you started around 16, 17, came across the masjid.
Absolutely.
And then what, did you start attending classes?
Yeah, so the way it happened was we just kind of started going to the masjid just to pray, just trying to become a regular abid at the masjid. And then I quite liked the vibe, because it was like, sometimes, when you go into masjids and it's just a shame, really. It's like mostly populated by older folk. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
it's true.
It's just the way it is, right?
They
have time. They're like, maybe they're thinking, it's coming towards the end of my life. Even though that's not true. Allah can take anyone at any point, right? But what I really liked about the masjid was it had a mix of people. There was like Ustad Abdul Hakeem said, there's Somali brothers there. We had Bengali brothers, Pakistani brothers, and I thought, this is nice, because it's like a pick and mix of people, and pick and mix of ages as well. So we had like old men, younger guys,
diverse,
very diverse, and met some good brothers there. And I was about maybe 18 or 19 when I first started. Kind of for a long time, I didn't attend the classes. I'll be honest. Purely, I was in sixth form at the time, and then started working. And then I just thought, like, I don't have any excuse anymore. Like, what's my excuse now, right? I'm young, working and making income, alhamdulillah. There's no excuse to put classes and knowledge on the back foot. That's when I really started taking it seriously with the classes, alhamdulillah.
So, I think one of the things that many people think about is that a masjid is just a place to pray your 5 daily salahs. But I think something that we've learned from this show is that masajids are doing a lot more. They're doing this 5 daily salahs in congregational prayers, but they're doing a lot more in addition to that. So it would be really interesting to go into some of those things that Masjid Al Huda is doing.
Yeah, sure.
For the community. So maybe we could start with the classes, I think.
Actually, there's some classes running onto the masjid. A lot of classes really for sisters and brothers, mainly for adults. At the moment we don't have for children. At the moment we don't have for children, but for adults, for sisters, and for brothers.
Okay.
I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all these days are
Sunday,
on Sunday class, day and night.
Okay. During the day and the
during
evenings.
the night, yeah. We start with like Monday. You have classes with Quran classes,
Quran and Tajweed.
Quran and Tajweed, and also we have classes in Arabic. The classes, meaning they're running in Arabic language.
Oh, so full class. Okay.
Yeah,
Class running in Arabic, yeah. So it's to do with fiqh and Arabic grammar.
Okay.
So the students are interested in this class to be explained in Arabic. They don't want in English. They want to boost the Arabic, and they want to So these classes are going out in Arabic, and that is fiqh and medium level. It's not beginning, medium level, because the students are a bit high. And also we do Arabic grammar and medium level also, because there's a beginning and medium. So this is on Monday. Plus we have in the night also Tajweed and Quran classes, Hifz. If you come to Tuesday, we have adults. This is in English. We have fiqh.
Fiqh and hadith. So we read the Salihin.
Yeah. For adults, it should be 18 and over. And then Wednesday we have Arabic and tafsir.
Basic Arabic, though. So we're going to the Medina
for brothers.
Brothers.
We'll come into sisters.
Okay.
So it's Arabic and tafsir, and at the same day there's another class running concurrent, which is what was it, Ahmed's class? Running on Wednesday.
That's on Thursday. We've got so on Wednesday we have two classes, both are Arabic. So we've got two rooms. That's part of the expansion. So the first room has the basic Medina Book 1. So we're going through that on a base level just to get the kind of up to scratch. And then the second room we've got Sheikh teaching Medina Book 2 to the more advanced students. So we've got a mixed bag of students. I think Book 1 obviously has more new joiners.
Okay. So much there's a lot of classes.
That's quite a lot.
Wednesday.
That's just Wednesday.
This is another Arabic class also.
That's an Arabic writing one.
Writing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's for the brothers, for the sisters. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the morning.
Okay.
There are roughly almost 122 sisters who are coming to the masjid.
The masjid is packed. That is the most packed class.
I was just thinking when you were saying this, like, aren't people at work? But
some of these people who are straight come from work. Some of them are coming from London. Some of them, but they're seriously
traveling from all
over
over.
100 sisters.
For sisters.
120. I think last time I saw the register.
And even now they call me even they want to do Thursday. They used to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but today even they call me they want more classes because they're. And if you go there, you'll be in the list. You have to wait. So sisters, they have classes from 9 to 11, 9:30 to 11:30, and purely that is for Tajweed and Hifz.
AM in the morning.
They mix sisters from Asian community, Somali, and all this. The other class that is running now, we are doing is the education that was doing was we are doing a course of marriage course, which is fiqh of marriage and divorce according to the Quran and Sunnah.
Okay.
Which we did now started in Rawda for 4 sessions, 4 weeks. Which has to do with all fiqh to do with marriage, rulings with marriage, divorce, and also cause of divorce and solutions to divorce. This is a real course for 4 weeks with 2 to 3 hours.
And is that like is that quite a big?
It's a big It's a course,
Okay.
It has got group shop, it has got the exam. We provide certificates, so that the person. We just need to know people to know what marriage is, what divorce is, what the person will encounter when you go there. All this, you understand the current problem we have in the community. Family breakdowns, all this. So this is a new course we have introduced. Alhamdulillah, we have done now in Milton Keynes. We want to do inshallah.
And that course was. The course started out of a need for the community, right? You've seen the need.
We've been preparing this for almost 6 months now.
I think one thing is very interesting as you describe it, and I know, mashallah, the size of the masjid, 120 people in there is packed.
Very packed.
So it's not a very large space, but alhamdulillah, very well utilized. So one thing that, as you were talking, actually, it reminds me, because many of us may have seen online and in other spaces, the setup in Somalia, Kenya, around Quran from a young age. Tahfidh al-Quran, memorizing the Quran by 6, 7, 8 is normal. In fact, it's something that you find every house. And also, subhanAllah, I think the second thing that you mentioned, which I think there's a lot of great culture that's retained in that, is the sense of family. I always find with the Somali community. Regardless of what happens, alhamdulillah, young, old, whatever it may be, there's always a strong community bond. And I remember from the very early days of the masjid, saying in the masjid for the, mashallah, when somebody would provide a meal, when there was a wedding, when something would happen. The community is very close. And I think those two qualities are really nice, mashallah, characteristics that many may experience.
Regarding also on Ramadan, also, I think for the last 10 years, when Ramadan comes, we make iftar there. For everyone.
Completely free of charge.
The whole of community, whoever comes there.
Public iftar,
Public iftar, every single day.
And free for, some of ourselves and some of the Asian community. We just prepare this and pay money, and then we ask someone to cook and bring this. I think that's the 10th year we're doing that, alhamdulillah. So that also is huge, bringing the community together, inshallah.
And do you see quite big numbers coming?
Yes, of course.
Very big numbers.
Every year, yeah.
So what about beyond ta'lim, beyond the education? What other facilities, services are at the masjid?
SubhanAllah. That's a very good question. So I'd like to touch on the marriage and divorce thing very quickly because it's a big part of that. So how the course was born was once we were studying the fiqh of marriage and divorce as part of our curriculum, Sheikh started realizing, I think a lot of Sheikhs, if you go through his WhatsApp, a lot of his calls he gets and texts are all around, I'm having problems getting married, problems with divorce, people who've been married for a really long time reaching out to him, asking him fiqh-related questions and so on and so forth. So once we studied it as students, Sheikh decided, they've studied it now, and I'm getting inundated with requests about marriage and divorce. I'm going to put together an actual course for that, right? And it's still linked to education, as you said, but our services, I'd say, we're not, like you said, we're not a massive masjid. We don't have like Berry Park masjids, for example. Mashallah, tabarakallah, they've got the ability to kind of wash bodies and so on and so forth. Or Jalalabad has the mortuary and stuff like that. We don't really have that because we're very small, but we do provide services in terms of nikah. So we've had brothers and sisters come. We get a lot of revert brothers and sisters coming to the masjid who are new to the religion. They want to learn a bit more. So the Sheikh kind of holds their hand and goes through the process of what they need to do as kind of coming into Islam for essentially from the beginning of their journey. So we help a lot of revert brothers and sisters, do a lot of nikah services. Again, Sheikh's done many nikah. We all accept it from Sheikh, free of charge as well. And
also counseling,
marriage counseling, free of charge as well. We've got, not directly with the masjid, but we've got a set of Iraqis that we've got as well who do ruqya. Again, I'm not going to touch into it too much. It's more connected with the Milton Keynes side of things. But we've got Iraqis who can perform ruqya completely free of charge as well, fi sabilillah. That's quite an interesting thing because, especially in our subcontinent and stuff, a lot of people are unaware of the knowledge around that base. So we try and stick to the Quran and Sunnah. So we provide a lot of services around that, wraparound services. And then there's the marriage course as well. So the first time we delivered it was actually in a masjid in Bristol. To the youth, and it's kind of become like a tour. We're going on tour almost. Like we went to Milton Keynes, went to Bristol, and Sheikh's planning on taking it kind of further up north as well. So those are some of the services. We're doing what we can, what's in our capabilities, because like I said, the space we have isn't too much, but a lot of it is centered around like nikah, divorce, ruqya, these type of things. That's what we offer.
I think also what we used to do, we're doing at the moment is people, sometimes we collect zakat from the people who have their zakah. We don't send it out. We keep it. There's a lot of people who are needing here.
Okay.
Some people, they don't have to pay the rent. They come us and we verify. We make sure that it's right what they're saying. So we keep that money, alhamdulillah, and we have helped many people, especially in the time of Corona.
Yes.
Especially, I've seen a lot of Muslims outside the street.
In our own community, charity starts from home. Right?
Some of them, they were dealing with their permits and they have nothing, they couldn't afford something to pay to the lawyer. We help them. So this kind of things, although it's not something constant, but normally whenever you get the chance, someone wants to pay. Some brothers today want to pay the money, want to bring their money. So we'll keep it there, and then we'll, so it was helpful that one also.
MashaAllah. So far it sounds like marriage services is one of the key kind of services that the Masjid Al Huda is providing for the community, and something I didn't even know.
No, it's very common, mashallah. I hear so many testimonials, alhamdulillah, many that speak to me about the islah, that mashallah, the reconciliation between families,
absolutely,
challenges, mashallah. So, excellent service. What I would ask, because I think you're absolutely right, family is the center. Actually, it's a reflection of our deen. Rahim is part of our deen, maintaining the ties of kinship.
Absolutely.
A decade on now, 15 years or thereabouts of the masjid, how have you seen that play out? Because you've seen people, mashallah, like yourself, have been there, mashallah, for 12, 13 years. 12, 13 years on, what do you see about those families that came and engaged in those services?
Alhamdulillah, the thing is, what we do mostly, we focus on youth. Our priority are youth. So the most service we give it to the youth, whether it's education. I mean, for our classes now, I think we have classes roughly. How many are with classes attending now?
There's a staggered number, so anywhere between 20 and 40, regular attendees.
So we have close relationship with the youth, and alhamdulillah, they're coming more and more. So what we do is after every 3 months we go and eat together outside, and that's what they want. Just want to make something. Just want to make them to love Deen of Islam and masjids. You understand? So alhamdulillah, and it's a lot of we see there's a lot of young people who are coming, especially brothers who are coming into the masjid and asking, and every day we see a new face and all this.
So I think that's really interesting. I think the first segment is coming to a close. So far, in the second segment we can go into a bit more detail, inshallah, into those services. So Jazakallah, thank you.
Stay informed, entertained and engaged. Check out our new website, inspirefm.org.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. MashaAllah, very inspiring session, alhamdulillah, just there. I think one of the key things that you've talked about a lot is the importance of family. And I know oftentimes, mashallah, masajid, they support families in a range of different ways. But often not the pastoral counseling care. It tends to be that we'll come and teach your children. It comes to nikah, perhaps in talaq. But in between, everything in that relationship, there's so many complications. And I know, Sheikh, mashallah, you spend a lot of time, and I hear many of the good stories, alhamdulillah. What would you say are the key challenges that the Muslim community and the Muslim family faces today?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Barakallahu feek. The challenge we have is a lot of challenge in Muslim community. Have a lot of challenge, and divorce is one of them, or family breaking down. But the thing is, the problem doesn't come when the people are marrying. It starts before marriage. One of the things I've learned is there's a lot of before they marry, they have a problem in there. You understand? So there are some of the things that we need to prevent it to happen, because that is going to cause a divorce from the beginning. And one of these is raising children, like I said, raising children in a very good Islamic environment. And not only that, raising them not only Islamic environment, raising them or preparing for them what marriage is, and making them to understand marriages, because most of our kids today, young, they just jump into marriage without knowing what marriage is itself, because marriage means something.
And what would you say that is? So, alhamdulillah, good. MashaAllah, everybody probably wants to get married at some point. What do you think the elements that they need to focus on or develop with their character in order to be successful?
Main thing is commitment. It comes all into commitment, really saying that I'm married and I want to hold into marriage. So that's where it starts from everything. You need to take it seriously, because when you're working, we take our job seriously. We don't want to lose our job. If you're earning, let's say, 20K or you're earning 40K a year, then you make sure that you don't lose the job. You have to do more than that, to keep on your marriage. That's the most important thing, is commitment. You need to work on your marriage. Marriage needs working.
Absolutely. SubhanAllah. Very interesting. I think you're right. One of the things that we almost grow up with these days is things are very disposable.
Yes.
Whether it's our phone, whether it's our clothes, whether it's changing work regularly, and probably the media and the way we consume things, the way we feel that we have options and then we can quite easily leave one. And alhamdulillah, we're more affluent than we've ever been before as a community. So this point about commitment, at the core of that, because we know the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this contract is a contract even in jest. Even if you were to joke about being married, if somebody offers you, even in joke, it's still a commitment.
Yes.
SubhanAllah. Unlike many others, where in jest that wouldn't have been accepted. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala places great importance to the marriage relationship itself. And we know, subhanAllah, silatul rahim, the connections of the womb, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the one who protects these, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect them. And the one who breaks these, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala breaks his tie with them.
Okay, one of the biggest challenges is lack of practicing. Lack of practicing. Lack of practice means if you don't practice, you don't really know the duties and the rights of your spouse, really.
So you're saying the lack of understanding the rights in the
Right,
marriage.
yeah. And generally also practicing also. If you're not practicing, the house will not be safe really. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي, whoever turns away from my remembrance, you will have a very difficult life. So the major, because I've done this survey, 90% of people who have done the survey and put this question, they said, 90% they said it's a lack of practice in deen of Allah. Yeah. And the second thing is, another major one is lack of communication.
Okay.
Lack of communication. Yeah, it's a lack of communication also. And communication is a lot.
Isn't that ironic in a world of instant communication that we are poor at communicating now?
Communication between the two spouses, yeah, it's not really. Yeah, real communication.
Rather than machines in between.
Yeah, and communication is. And there's a lot of other things involved which can cause divorce.
It's very interesting because I think generally people think that divorce rates are low in the Muslim community compared to the non-Muslim community. What, from your experience, what are you seeing in the...
They're not low, it's the same.
Yeah.
If you see outside UK, if you see Muslim countries, like Arab countries, anywhere, divorce rate is roughly almost between 40 to 42% now.
Okay.
Latest statistics.
And is this number going up or...
I don't know it's going, but at the moment that's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of factors which makes it to go up really. One of the factors also is one of the things is high expectation of life, high expectation of life. Once you get married, all your problems will be released, you'll be relieved, and you'll be living in high honeymoon all the time. Young people that's what they're doing, high expectation. So there's a lot of things that.
Yeah, and with like social media, a lot of people do a lot of comparing their lives to others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
MashaAllah, Brother Naveed, you alhamdulillah mentioned earlier on that you got married in Masjid Al Huda.
Alhamdulillah,
So your nikah, mashallah, was conducted by Sheikh.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
So talk to us about, alhamdulillah, how you've benefited as a family, both yourself and your wife.
Alhamdulillah.
Benefit from Masjid Al Huda in strengthening that family relationship.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala man nabi. But I'd like to say it was quite a journey, to be honest. I myself was the course that we mentioned earlier. I was a participant, willing participant, of course. We studied it as part of our curriculum, and it gave me an indicator as to what I should be looking for on an educational level before I even kind of decided to kind of get married and really go into that world of things. And it benefited me greatly. Alhamdulillah, I had the Sheikh conduct my nikah, so it's part of one of the conditions that I had in place. I wanted Sheikh to be the one that kind of done the unionships and will accept it from him, alhamdulillah. So in terms of like, just going back to your question, what it's taught me, it's just a lot of patience required, to be honest. I'm 29 at the moment, and I find I'm from that generation, social media and all of that type of stuff. And I find what I find from my just being around people is, especially the youth, a lot of people want a wedding, not necessarily a marriage. Are you with me? Like, they're two different things. Like, people want the big event and, family get together and smiles and maybe post it online, but they're not in there for the long haul. It's a marathon, right? No, it's a sprint. So being around Sheikh and, alhamdulillah, I like to spend a lot of time with Sheikh. I generally like to spend a lot of time with people who are older than me, so they can impart that wisdom and give us a hikmah. And being around Sheikh and a lot of the shuyukh at the masjid and stuff, they really prepared me and geared me to understand how marriage works and how it's basically it's like 24/7 job, right? You're always on shift, night shift, day shift, all of it, right? But there's barakah in it, alhamdulillah. But another big thing that Sheikh told me, a bit of advice he gave me, is rather than concern yourself with your rights, concern yourself with giving your spouse their rights. Once you do that, you'll get your rights in return. And that's something that's benefited me greatly, taking heed of that, alhamdulillah.
And previously you emphasized on the concept of tarbiyah that you managed to gain from. Could you tell us a bit about how you benefited? Gaining tarbiyah from the masjid.
Yeah, absolutely. I think growing up in the West, right, we wear different hats. Obviously, Muslim, Asian, brown, Bengali, Pakistani, whatever it is. Growing up in the West, you wear multiple hats, right? And sometimes, I don't know if you brothers find this, but I've had to just put a different hat on depending on who I'm speaking to, whether I'm at work, whether I'm in my community, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So fundamentally, what I was struggling with was making Islam kind of the forefront of my personality. Like, okay, this is the main part of who I am. yeah, I'm from the Asian subcontinent, I'm Bengali, whatever it is, I'm British as well, obviously, by birth, but none of that is as important as being a Muslim. And I think the masjid is what helped me realize that, in terms of, we're here, we're in the dunya, right? Alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jalla knows how long we're here for. But really, what can we do before we depart? I think that was a question that Sheikh posed in the khutbah once, that really kind of set the alarm bells off in my head. Like, what are we doing whilst we're here? Like, what type of legacy are we leaving behind? And the masjid has helped shape that in terms of tarbiyah, like in terms of seeking knowledge, in terms of prioritizing knowledge. And when you're in the gathering in the house of Allah, the malaika, all the angels are there as well. So just to be mindful and have that taqwa, that's kind of what the masjid instilled in me more than anything else. And the shaykh as well, the shaykh, Allah shaykh, alhamdulillah.
So alhamdulillah, the ni'mah of having a murabbi, somebody who can
alhamdulillah,
and nurture you on that journey. So it's a great blessing, alhamdulillah. Shaykh, how do you go about involving the masjid, recognizing you've got such a diverse community? How do you, perhaps, maybe you can share a few examples of people that you thought, this person could do with a particular type of, maybe particular company or particular course or particular engagement. How do you go about it?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Actually, there's a question you have posed earlier, which was very good, really. I think the question you have posed was, from now, after 5 years or 10 years, where will be the masjid or something like that, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think. I didn't answer for some reason here, which is a very, very good point, At the moment, what we are doing, inshallah, these courses, we are trying to, I'll answer later that one, inshallah, is that prepare for the young people, to the adults in the next 2-3 years to be du'at, taking over the masjids, giving khutbahs, leading the prayer. Already there's some already giving khutbah, alhamdulillah. Some of the students are giving khutbah at the moment now, alhamdulillah, because we have done also khutbah sessions, trainings also. We did khutbah trainings. We did, alhamdulillah. So maybe 1 or 2 at the moment they're doing khutbah, and others are leading the Quran. So inshallah, our main focus, inshallah, as we have said, is for the next maybe 2-3 years to produce some qualified du'at who can lead the da'wah, whether it's outside or inside, or to give them facilitate them that they can join outside university, because there's no Islamic university. I'm talking about that. So that's our main aim.
I see. And how do you go about that? As in, you mentioned you're doing training, khutbah training.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're getting them to lead Jummah as well.
Yes.
And like, say, how do you, and what's this?
Because we teach them the way to do da'wah. We teach them, we listen to them, we train them. It's not just 1 or 2 weeks, it's a lot of time. Some of them, as the question was asking, the students are not the same level. They're not the same level. Some are working hard, some are high, medium, and some are a little bit low, you understand? So that's the way we see whoever has time and whoever has got pleasure and eager to learn, then we give him more. Even not in the classes, even when I'm in my office, I can still teach him, you understand? So they're not in the same level. So alhamdulillah, we're doing our best, trying whatever we can, inshallah. But our main goal in our masjid, as we have said, our focus is on young people, is 2 things. One is we just need to generate young people who can take over the da'wah, because we are not going to be in here. Allahu A'lam, we're not going to be in here for long. So the question we're asking ourselves is, have we prepared for the masjid? Because the thing is, if we don't prepare anyone, the old people die. The masjid, there's no one who's going to take over. So that's the main thing that we are trying to focus on it, inshallah.
Yes, I think that's a beautiful reflection. And moving on to the next question. In the first segment, you mentioned that a lot of sisters are attending the classes. Could we talk more about the sisters' facilities? So, for example, like, there is sisters' facilities.
First and foremost, the sisters are the ones who are running the session by themselves.
Oh, they're teaching.
They're teaching,
Oh, sisters are teaching.
They're
sisters.
teaching,
Oh, mashallah.
We are not teaching. There's some qualified sisters who are, alhamdulillah, qualified in Arabic, and they're qualified in Tajweed and Quran. They're the ones who are running themselves.
Okay.
So they have that facility, and alhamdulillah, and they already, those who are good, and they are also beginning also, and we see every week there's new students who are coming in. So they're the ones who are running by themselves.
So sisters have the Salah facilities as well, right?
They do.
Jummah,
They do.
Tarawih, and when it comes to classes, you're saying the sisters are organizing themselves.
They're organizing, themselves. They're co-teachers there.
Mashallah. Mashallah. So previously we talked about the public iftars in Ramadan. So could you tell us a bit more about Ramadan? So especially the Eid Salah. How do you go about
I'll touch on Ramadan a little bit. Obviously, being a small masjid, we give some of the students opportunity to lead the salah. So at Tarawih, we've got brothers who studied at Al-Arqam, brothers from around Luton. We've got guest reciters coming. Students themselves sometimes lead the Tarawih, and we've got some brothers that come in from out of town as well. It's quite nice because I think our Tarawih is quite short. Within an hour and a half, pretty much done, alhamdulillah. So especially like towards the last 10 nights, we've got a lot of brothers coming in, leading the salah, sometimes doing it in different riwayah as well, which is quite nice. Yeah, so it makes a nice change because Ramadan is obviously a time of year where a lot of the Muslims are more connected to the masjid, alhamdulillah. So to be able to provide that service where we've got a lot of youth leading the salah, sometimes they even take turns, so maybe one brother will lead 4 rakah and another brother will lead 4, and just to hear those different styles of recitation, and it's impactful, and especially because we cater to a large community who are Arab speaking, right? So they don't understand Arabic. Sometimes the only thing they can cling on to is the recitation, Allahumma barik. So it's nice to have that. In terms of the iftar services, we've been going for about 12 years strong, alhamdulillah. We've got many generous brothers from our community that donate maybe once every other night, or what they do is they donate meals across the 5 days, 10 days, however many days. And it's anywhere between about 30 to 60 brothers we have, because in the community we do have a lot of brothers who've kind of moved from other countries. Their spouses are not there, they don't have their children, they come from like they come from other countries, right? And the only connection they have is with the masjid. So sometimes they don't have the spouse to cook, or they can't cook themselves, and that's where we found Al Huda has really impacted the community, because we've got these brothers coming in. English is not their first language. They come for the salah, then they realize, this brother's eating here, right? And it's fully paid for, fully sponsored by some of the abids in the masjid and some of the other people who come.
Food is a great way to bring people together.
And honestly, it's an amazing way to bring people together. And it just, I find it kind of trickles down as well. Like before they know it, they're like, we've got classes as well. And then before you know it, they're glue and they're part of the community. So alhamdulillah. And the salah, just to touch on the Eid salah, so it's very temperamental, the weather situation in England, of course. So if the weather permits, if Allah permits, alhamdulillah, then what we do is we try and do the one Eid. So we connect with Masjid Ghuraba, and we try and do the salah in the park. I think it's Warden Park, cricket pitch, right? We try and do it if the weather's obviously weather dependent, and when it's not, we tend to do it in the masjid. So we normally have 2 jama'ah for the brothers and 1 for the sisters as well, alhamdulillah.
Nice, it's a beautiful experience. I go to the cricket pitch.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And it's nice because I can actually hear I can hear it from my house. That's how loud it is. So you just walk there, it feels like you're back home, mashallah. So it's a really good experience, and you see all the brothers and sisters, mashallah. It's really good. And that you said that's in collaboration with Masjid.
Yeah, in collaboration with Masjid Ghuraba. There's a few other masjids which I can't remember off the top of my head, but we do have kind of the committees have that conversation. There's been years where they've had their khatibs doing the khutbah sometimes. So I think not 2 or 3 years ago, just post-corona, we had Sheikh Abdul Hakeem doing the khutbah. So we do kind of share that responsibility.
Yeah, it must be quite difficult because logistically it's like it's a lot of people. That's like I've seen like the whole cricket pitch is
thousands,
full.
yeah.
So
it takes a whole of 2 days before, maybe 2 days.
Even the morning
So a
off.
lot of preparation for that.
So we were talking earlier on about, mashallah, facilities for the sisters. I know they tend to take over the masjid. When the sisters are there, that's at a time typically in the day when there's no salawat and the masjid isn't
in the morning.
utilized. And I think that's one of the great, mashallah, fadail of the masjid is that your masjid is utilized a lot more perhaps than others that there are periods of quiet time. Whereas it seems like you have day and night programs.
Yeah, mashallah.
Use all the time in between, mashallah, the salawat for that. So does your wife benefit from the sisters' classes? Has she gone to the programs?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
What did she come back home with?
Alhamdulillah, because we've got a wide range of sisters who studied in the UK. Some of them have studied abroad as well, correct? So they really kind of some of these sisters have really deep dive into certain topics that maybe the brothers, due to work commitments or whatever, haven't had the time to do. So I'd say we've got some pretty, alhamdulillah, really learned sisters, Allahumma barik. And they're really able to kind of specialize in maybe someone's got an area of tajweed or maybe fiqh or whatever, or Arabic, whatever have you. And it's honestly, it's grown massively. We've got sisters coming in, driving on the motorway to get to the classes from the community as well. We've got a mix, again, ethnically, we've got quite a mixed bag. We've got, Somali sisters, Asian sisters, Arab sisters, revert sisters from European background and so on. So, alhamdulillah, a lot of benefit.
Alhamdulillah. I think, mashallah, a number of the masajids, especially in Luton, have a really diverse and quite a vibrant population. But retention is normally a challenge.
SubhanAllah.
Staying power. So you mentioned commitment earlier on as the key for a marriage, but also commitment when it comes to studies, commitment getting to the masjids regularly. How do you go about fostering that? How do you support that development of a community and commitment? Because that's discipline, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's not easy, but if someone has a good intention, he can do it. He's just keeping up with it and making it normal, or doing it all the time. Because whenever you want to start something, it's not easy, really. For instance, if you want to come to the Jama'ah and Masjid 5 times prayer, it's not easy in the beginning. But once you do it for a while, it just becomes a regular thing.
Yeah,
it becomes a normal.
Sure.
You understand? So it's just like putting a lot of, as you have said, commitment and a lot of struggle and a lot of strive in the beginning, and then alhamdulillah, you have some students, they don't want to leave the masjid, they just want to stay in the masjid at the moment. Once they go, they don't want to go there. Yeah.
I think sometimes we miss some of the tricks. I know you got a number of them in your masjid. For example, just the fact that there's no rush to lock the masjid.
Yeah.
So you can stay.
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
Just the fact that you have.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah. We are normal. People tell us we are kind of loose. You understand?
MashaAllah, it reminds me, when I go to your masjid, alhamdulillah, it reminds me of the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's simplicity.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, partly covered roof. Yeah, not that roses. MashaAllah, the people would come day and night with any issues. MashaAllah, and Rasulullah would respond to them. The fact that, mashallah, it's very welcoming. Yeah. So in fact, not just a judgment thing when you walk in, people don't look at you. I think that's, alhamdulillah, that's grade zero. I think just the fact that there's people around that make you feel welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the other thing is, just to add on, we don't really take it so hard whether you are, whatever background of your madhab is, we don't really, we don't bother really. All brothers, even we have some brothers when we are telling to, we say, close the gaps, they don't, but we don't mind. Alhamdulillah, it's no problem. As long as, we just tell them that's what we think is the sunnah. If someone thinks he has a different view, there's no problem. You understand? Yeah. So it looks like we are, we accept everyone, alhamdulillah, and to come in and pray and sit. Not only that, have drink, have tea, and sit.
Very relaxed.
Because masjid from Dhuhr to Isha is open. It's not closed.
Oh, is it open all the time?
The whole time.
Whole time is open.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's only Isha is closed. Then after that,
Even
Fajr, maybe Fajr to Dhuhr is closed. Yeah. After that, you can come anytime and sit there, have tea and drink, and all these things.
And I think the personal side, that the counselling, the pastoral care, the reaching out, mashallah, to others when they're new. A masjid should be one where you are known in that masjid. What I mean is that when you come, alhamdulillah, you build a sense of community. Being a smaller masjid, alhamdulillah, with the regular attendees, it's not enough just to attend the masjid. If other people get to know you and you get to know them, then they want to come back. Now I know Brother Naveed, I know the Sheikh.
Alhamdulillah, we have our shortcomings, brother. We have a lot to do ourselves. We are not it's a lot of things to do, really, I'm saying. But the thing, as we have said, just to put more, is masjid, some of us may think masjid is just a place to pray, that's it. And if you see how the Masjid of Prophet ﷺ was completely different, we were living, really. Everything was done. Zakah, sadaqah, people were sleeping there. When they want to go to jihad, they used to, everything was in there. But it looks like a majority of masjid today, looks like you pray and then you lock it down. And that's, we think we need to change something about it, you understand?
I think also the personal advice, isn't it amazing? All of those ahadith that we come across. A man would come and say to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, give me some advice. And isn't it profound that he wouldn't give two of them the same advice? To one he would say, don't get angry. To another one he would say, work on this aspect of your salah, make it increase in charity. To another one he'd say, tasaddaq, give in charity. So I think that personal aspect as well, mashallah, that it sounds like from your description of the masjid, really makes a
the main thing also we focus is just bring people together, brotherhood, and teach. That's it. It's nothing more than that. We don't want to go into small things which divide people.
Yeah,
we don't want to go into that.
And just to touch on that, Sheikh, what I find quite profound is the type of community we have is like I'll give you a real life example. I was abroad for a few days. The brothers didn't know. Some of the brothers knew, some didn't. And I got a text message, where are you? Why are you not here? Is something wrong? And I think it's a lot to do with the community, and I think it's a lot to do with the size as well. Like, when you're used to seeing, and we're competing for the first half, the second, it's like friendly competition. But, when you don't see the brother for a few days, Sheikh, I think you'd agree with this.
Yes.
That text message, that phone call, where are you? You know what I mean? It's been 2-3 days, and Sunnah of the Prophet do that. So that's something that I think we not specialize in, but something that
genuine love, right?
The genuine, mahabba is the love is there, alhamdulillah. So
I think as we're coming near the end, so you already touched on the future vision, but is there any upcoming projects that the Masjid Al Huda is doing that that really excites you?
Well, the project we're doing at the moment, we're focusing on this one. We're talking about marriage,
Marriage is your main focus.
The other project we are thinking doing it is to do with how to giving awareness of knife crime.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do a project also that, awareness of the people, young people, all these things. That's something which we are thinking of, inshallah. But Allah is going to possible, inshallah. Because normally what we also focus on is the problem we have in the community also. And normally that's what we do in the khutbah. Mainly we try to focus on the problems or the goodness in the community. Mainly that's what we cover. Yeah, especially in Luton again, not even far away, because we need to change here. We don't need to go outside. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support us, but there's a lot of things we need to do really. Yeah.
MashaAllah, I think that's a much needed initiative.
But
yeah, I would like to end the show on this note. Jazakallah khairan for your time.
Barakallahu feek.